Welcome back to Wool Shift Dust, a Silo TV podcast. I'm Elysia, here to rep the Silo series readers.
And I'm Luke, the resident show-only fan, and thus purveyor of the finest tinfoil hat theories. Elysia wrote that line, but I'm so glad she thinks my tinfoil hat theories are fine.
No, nothing but 5-star gourmet tinfoil hat theories.
I've got not tinfoil hat theories. I've got tinfoil hat half-formed thoughts from this trailer.
All right. Can't wait to hear them. So this discussion is going to be spoiler-free beyond what is already aired as usual, which means, of course, full spoilers for seasons 1 and 2. But since this is an episode breaking down the new trailer, we will be discussing everything that we've seen so far in the season 3 promos. So this time we're talking about the second trailer that came out. We did already do a previous episode with the first season 3 teaser and promo photos. So check that one out first if you haven't yet, because we'll be building off of that here, and we'll assume this time that you remember who the characters are and where season 2 left off. Yeah, so we're just going to be hitting the ground running from there. There will be no future book spoilers, of course, beyond what Apple themselves have already revealed in these promos. And of course, if you want a more basic introduction to Silo, then go all the way back to the beginning where we were doing in-depth analysis of the very first trailers from season 1 with slightly less good sound quality. We've improved. Sorry about that. But we've been dissecting every scene along the way with talk about the creators and the craft that goes into this, interviews with some people involved. So catch up on all that if this happens to be your first episode. But today, all of that out of the way, trailer 2, what do you think? Excitement growing?
Definitely. And specifically excitement about what's going on in the present. Because that wasn't, like, I feel
you weren't curious about that before as much?
I was, but I feel like we got some interesting little tidbits of information in this trailer, but we'll get to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a thorough dissection of the trailer. We will talk you through everything that's said, and I did the pausing, and so we'll analyze those visuals. There will be, for book club members, a separate episode again with Abby going through the book spoiler aspects of this trailer, where we think this might be going. So if you're not already a book club member, stick around to the end. We'll talk a bit more about that, but we try to keep this as clean as possible. I know people are going to bitch about spoilers no matter what, but we do our best. We do our best. But we will be going through, talking about what we see in every scene to give you a bit more insight there. The trailer this time was 2 minutes and 37 seconds long, so a full trailer. I will post it in the show notes just in case you haven't seen it. And yeah, as far as spoilers, I mean, I'll just say up front that this has always been a show that's done its own thing a lot of the way. Like, the spine of the story is very much the same. The major characters tend to be the same, but often are not. So there are major characters who are heavily featured in this trailer who do not exist at all in the books. So when I'm speculating, I genuinely don't know. So I'm not playing coy or anything like that. It's just, they're keeping us on our toes, and I like that.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the penultimate season. There'll be one more after this, and they're covering basically the last 2 books together. Like, this is, it's picking up at the very end of Wool, and then I guess going into the beginning of Dust, because Shift, the book in the middle, is pretty much a prequel book. So that's like the stuff we see in the past. That's all from Shift.
Okay.
Your regularly scheduled breakdown will begin in 3, 2, 1. All right, let's talk through the trailer. We're going to talk through one little section at a time. And starting with there's the pre-trailer trailer. That's why is this a thing now? Why do we need story trailers? But it just not much to say about that. It opens with a few clips of shots running backwards again, like the last teaser. We see Juliet looking in a mirror, walking to silo 17, people in fire suits flinching from an explosion in the silo, and Juliet falling into the water in silo 17, but following up from the water because it's running backwards. And then it says silo trailer starts now. And we get again the bright orangey light from behind and disintegrating letters effect. So I have thoughts about what this is, but I cannot say them here.
Okay, that's for you and Abby to discuss.
Yeah, well, you did discuss it actually in the first teaser because I was there too. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the trailer starts proper. We have Robert Sims' voice, played by Common. You were in there for 3 minutes. 3 minutes in a box of fire. And what we see is Juliet, played by Rebecca Ferguson, being lowered through the silo on a stretcher, unconscious in her fire suit, as people gather at the railings to watch. Later in the trailer, we see people rushing to the rails to make sure her gurney lands safely. And then we also see what seems to be what happens in the said fire room before that, where she's in her suit looking horrified as the chamber fills with fire. This was, of course, set up in the cliffhanger of the season 2 finale. And then we get that black and white shot from the last teaser of Shirley, played by Remy Milner, and Knox, played by Shay McRae, running through the top level towards said box of fire, presumably, because now we have a new shot that follows that, showing their horrified faces and a third person running behind them. I think it's probably Teddy, played by Olatunji Ofe. And then Shirley looks into the chamber of fire, horrified but unable to stop it until the burn is done. So, what do you think's going on in this sequence of shots?
Well, I'm sure. I don't know whether this is just a continuity thing, but when I was watching that, I was somewhat surprised that Juliet's suit is in such good condition when she's taken out of the decontamination room, because that's why it is a box of fire. But yeah, like, not only is Juliet apparently unharmed, but the suit looks pretty. There's no sort of singeing or burnt effect
You
that
don't
I could
think?
see on this.
Oh, I thought there was. Maybe my brain created it, but are you suggesting it might come from a different scene?
Maybe. Maybe I just wasn't paying close enough attention. Maybe I just wasn't paying close enough attention. I think Bernard is. I was always sort of leaning towards he's probably dead. I now think it's about like a 90-10 proposition that he is
Yeah,
dead.
there was no Tim Robbins, but we know he was in the chamber with her, and they didn't even show that in the trailer.
No.
So I don't know why they're being coy about him even being what we've already seen in the last season.
In any event, even if he does survive, I don't think he's going to be in very good shape, because his suit wasn't the fire suit. It was just the normal going out of the silo suit. So he's probably he may survive, but like be in a hospital bed for the entire season, basically.
Yeah.
But I think he is probably dead.
Okay. Okay.
Also, really cool way to describe what's going on, a box of fire.
Yeah.
Which is accurate, but a cool way of describing it.
Do we think they're lowering her to the hospital? That was
what I was thinking. And also we see later on that Juliet's taking a lot of pills, and both those things did get me thinking: who's the doctor now? Because obviously,
there's a full. I mean, he was only one doctor.
But he was like the chief obstetrician, wasn't he? OBGYN. So I wonder if
I'll say in the book he's still alive. I did talk about this last. I'm not going to talk about it because it already aired, and he does take care of Juliet while she's burned in the book.
So I wonder if we get to see more doctors, new doctors.
Sure, yeah, we've seen glimpses of other doctors, but it's it's such a bummer. But it is in the books. It's when they finally reunite, and in this show they had them reunite earlier.
Yeah, much earlier. Yeah.
It's interesting to see what a celebrity Juliet is now. Like, you see she's being lowered and people are like rushing, crowding, like pushing, stampeding to the balconies to be like, did she get down okay? Because of course she's like the one who went outside, like mind blown.
Yeah, and came back. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I do wonder why that shot they keep showing of Shirley and Knox running through the halls. I wonder why it's in black and white. I'm guessing just an artistic choice, but or I don't know, or is
Is it
it
going to
like?
be? Is it going to be in flat? We're going to see that in flashback, maybe.
Mm, I don't know, because then it's color when she's looking through the window into the room.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if there's a reason or if it's just because it looks cool.
Yeah, just because it looks cool. Yeah,
That's fair. Sometimes the rule of cool is enough.
yeah.
All right. So in the next section, an unknown voice. And so I have subtitles on watching the trailer, of course. And the trailer called this voice the overseer. And we hear she's had no memories for 3 months other than the ones you've given her. And we see Juliet looking concerned as Sim stands behind her looking stern. We see a blurry flash of memory of Juliet in her walkabout suit. And we see Camille standing and listening to what we have so far called the algorithm. So, the overseer, this is not a term from the book, nor is the algorithm for that matter, but do we think that the overseer refers to what we've been calling the algorithm? That seems to
That
be,
was
it was like a digitized voice, right?
yeah. Well, I didn't have the subtitles on, so when I saw
Mm-hmm.
that in the show notes, like, oh yeah, that is that the algorithm. It would make sense for it to be the algorithm. I do think the no memories except the ones you've given her is quite interesting because
Yeah.
like how are you giving her memories? You can say this is what happened, but that's not giving somebody a memory. That's just telling them what happened.
Yeah. No, I am also curious about this. Like, there's some stuff with memories in the books. They're doing it a bit differently here. I'll talk about that more as we learn more in the show. So I do have genuine questions around how the memory, whatever is going on,
Yeah.
operates in this show world. Um, I think back to, I feel like this is why they gave us that side story with Gloria in season 1, right?
Oh yeah.
And it was the whole thing where I don't know, she had like, it wasn't really, was it just her fantasies of like looking in this Georgia book at the beach and imagining herself there? Or did they actually implant memories like that for her to wallow in?
And if they are implanting memories, how are they doing it?
Yeah.
Because that's like technology way more advanced than anything we've seen the silo be capable of
Mm.
yet.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I'm very curious. I'm very
Yeah.
curious. Um, Do you think so? We see this exchange happening, and it seems like the algorithm. I guess we'll say the overseer now. It seems like the overseer is talking to Camille. That's what we see playing out. But then we also see like Sims looming over Juliet. Do we assume that the Sims couple is still working together, even though she's inside the vault and he was asked to leave?
No, I'm going to go 180 the other direction.
Okay.
I think I think Sims is now on team Juliet
Okay.
because his like original plan and ambition and his idea of what his marriage to Camille ought to be is like pretty much blown to shreds at the end of season 2. So I wonder if he's gone full blown team good guys now.
Okay. All right. And you think Camille not yet?
Yeah, no, I think Camille not.
Okay. Okay. Um yeah. All right. All right. Let's go into the next section where we hear Juliet's voice saying, "I look at myself in the mirror and I don't even know who's looking back at me." And we see Juliet looking at herself in the mirror and Juliet taking pills. And
Lots of pills.
yeah.
Lots and lots of pills.
Well, let's start with the pills then. Do you have thoughts about, like, do you think the pills are painkillers or something else, or what do you think
Well,
is
I
going
think
on?
this goes back to the memories you gave her. I think this is some sort of like
Mm.
a psychotropic. I'm sure there is some painkillers there as well, but I think this
Mm-hmm.
is some sort of psychotropic sort of LSD type
Yeah. So
drug.
Gloria was getting injections, right? If I
Yeah,
recall correctly. But I mean, that's not to say it couldn't be,
it
whatever.
couldn't be the same stuff,
Hmm.
or it couldn't be a more like potent version of the same
Right.
stuff. Because if you're gonna like try and suppress and replace Juliet's memory, you've probably got more that you need to do, and it
Hmm.
probably needs to be a more sort of invasive thing than with Gloria. But like I say, it's not just that she has no memory; it's the memories you gave her, and like I find that really interesting because, like I say, I don't with the technology that we've seen available in the silo, even the overseer, like this would be like way more complicated than anything we've seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So here's the other question. Juliet is looking at herself in the mirror, and she knew. So season one, we saw that she figured out that there were cameras behind the mirrors
yeah,
recording everyone, surveilling. And she showed it to Lucas, we saw in season one. So is her staring in the mirror, is the cameras behind them one of the things that she's forgotten?
yeah. I was wondering about that, and I think the answer seems to be yes.
Hmm.
Because if not, if it was me anyway, I would go out of my way not to look in mirrors because I don't want people filming me all the time.
But it's like she's looking in the mirror, kind of searching, and maybe she's searching for her memories, but she might also be like, "Oh, there was something about
Yeah, there
mirrors,
was
right?"
something fun. There was something
Yeah.
funny about the mirrors. Yeah,
Right. And okay, so here's the thing: Lucas would remember that, but don't. It's very suspicious that Lucas is not in this trailer at all.
yeah, like oddly, he's like oddly, deliberately not there.
Yeah, and neither of the trailers. We've gotten one image of him that we talked about in the last teaser episode where we saw him in the basement. It was, yeah, him, Juliet, Sims, um, Martha, because it was in her workshop, and Georgiana, yeah.
Yeah,
So I don't, what are they hiding about Lucas?
yeah. Well, I mean, also in fairness, Lucas is probably on the lam right now because
Yeah.
he knows the overseer. Or I put it this way, he knows one of the overseer's big secrets.
So I hope they don't do this, but there's a good chance that they will. If they'll like just hide Lucas for the first couple episodes while they
What
wrap up.
I love what they did last season with Patrick Kennedy, which is
Yeah, I
just like
guess so.
for
For
episodes and episodes.
but speaking of Patrick Kennedy, yeah, he's front and center
He
in this
is.
trailer. Yeah. So, and he's, by the way, again, he is not he's a new character for the show. So anything around Patrick Kennedy, I have no idea what's happening.
Love it when this happens because you're just as confused as I am.
So he's played by Rick Gomez. And then the next section, we hear him say, she doesn't remember anything except what they tell her. So he's clearly talking about Juliet there. And then we see him say to Juliet in another scene, "You are the only one who has ever gone out and survived," in a pleading way. Like, you are the only one who has ever gone out and survived. Like,
Yeah,
he's urging her to do something. And then we see, while we hear these voiceovers, Juliet's typing with Camille looking over her shoulder. And it's on the computer screen. There's an image of, it looks like a silo entrance, but like a clean one. So not, the silo 17 with all the
yeah,
bodies. And then we see flashes of Juliet crawling over decayed bodies to enter Silo 17 and running out with a hook past lies written on the cafeteria there. And a clip from the season 2 finale of Juliet holding up the sign, "Not safe, do not come out," and then walking through the silo looking pensive. Now, the juxtaposition of them looking on this computer screen at an image and of an entrance to another silo. Again, Camille is a new character, so any speculation around her completely authentic, no idea. but I'm wondering that, so her looking like, are they trying to gaslight her into, and this will be contradicted in another section in just a moment, but I'm wondering if for at least the beginning they try to tell her there's not dead bodies falling out of the other silo next door. And they're trying to convince her that this clean entrance to the silo is 17. I don't know, pure speculation. What
I
do you
don't know.
think?
That seems a little bit like Bernard telling everybody to turn around and put their fingers in their ears, kind of level.
I mean, yeah, I do think. Do we think Camille's smarter than Bernard? That's a question.
Hmm.
I don't think he was
Hmm.
stupid. He was just desperate in that
Yeah,
moment.
he was just yeah, he just run out of any other option. We're gonna find out a lot about Camille Sims this
Hmm.
season, so I'm gonna put a pin in that, and we'll circle back to it.
Okay.
We'll circle back to it once we've seen the first few episodes.
It is interesting to see Camille and Juliet seeming to be working on something together. Although I suppose Camille, I guess Lucas is no longer head of
Yeah, I'm gonna
IT.
say she must be head of IT by default.
Yeah, if she's the one invited into the vault,
Yeah.
then she must be head of IT
Hey,
now.
she's
That's
IT. She's IT by the vault.
yeah, haha. But ching.
But ching.
um yeah, it is interesting to see Patrick and Camille are heavily featured in this trailer. And as I said, yeah, that makes for maximum me not being able to predict what's happening. So all genuine speculation, as I said. I do wonder though, like, I don't think this whole memory loss thing for Juliet is also an addition. Like the memory loss concept is not an addition, but the way it's being used, as we see in this trailer, definitely is. So I'm wondering how long it's going to last. Because it does seem like she's having like flashes of other memories. What's your prediction? Out of 10 episodes, how many of them will be about Juliet's memory loss?
3.
Okay. I was going to say 2, but yeah, okay. Okay. Maybe in episode 3 it's the
Yeah.
breakthrough. I hope it's not more than that, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope it's not like, to use another season, I hope it's not like House of the Dragon where you've got Matt Smith wandering around Harrenhal,
Right.
off his tits on mushrooms for like 10 episodes.
Exactly, exactly. But I don't think they will. There's too much to get
Yeah.
done. I'm wondering, like, I'm hoping that a lot of this trailer is focused on the beginning of the season because yeah, there's stuff anyway. All right, biting my tongue. Okay, so Sims, next we see, this is this scene I think you wanted to talk about. Sims addresses a crowd and says, "Truth does not come without cost." And we see Juliet sitting next to him, looking kind of out of it, but she's wearing the chain of the mayor's office. And then
Yeah.
we see a hand in an off-white sleeve, which I'm assuming is hers. It hits a gavel, and the crowd smiles, and Juliet stands up from the table to go. So, okay, what are your thoughts
Yeah,
here?
well, I mean, that's the thing. Juliet is mayor, which kind of makes sense. She is kind of Silo Messiah at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, yeah, she looks very out of it. She looks very sort of drugged up. And
Mm-hmm.
also, like, Sims is behaving very much like he is in charge. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be a fascinating, like, yeah. The more I think about it, the more I think that this season's going to be a Sims and Juliet awkward team up.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah,
You don't think he's controlling her the way he was the way he and Bernard were, at least with Judge Meadows?
I think that's what he wants to do. But Juliet isn't Judge Meadows.
No. Well, it's interesting that I we don't see who is wielding the gavel. I assumed it was Juliet because she was in the center of the table. But I do wonder, like, is there no new judge? Is Juliet both? Or they just like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there is something of a power vacuum in the silo right
oh, is
now, and
Sims judge now?
yeah,
Maybe.
and it's going to get filled.
Yeah, I wonder if Sims is now judge. That would make sense to me.
Yeah,
Um, but I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I am wondering if there's still something sinister going on with Sims, but that's also because,
Oh,
once burned, twice shy. But he's not wrong about the truth does not come without cost.
yeah, and don't get me wrong, I still think Sims is a bad guy, and I still think he's out for himself. But maybe he's sort of reevaluating where his interests lie.
Okay. Okay.
And
Fair.
also from a practical point of view, it's going to be fascinating to see how his marriage with Camille holds up now, because he obviously can't go and live. They obviously can't live together anymore because the algorithm won't let him in the vault.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to have to do like the silo equivalent of long distance.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, to say nothing of the fact they have a child,
Mm-hmm.
which is
And
going to
well, the
be
child was still with her, right?
that's true.
Yeah. He didn't show up in the trailer. I don't know. We'll see how much he shows up this season.
Yeah,
Kids filming rules being what they are.
yeah.
All right, let's take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to talk about what Carla McLean is on about. Okay, Carla, played by Claire Perkins, we hear her say, the amount of panic if people found out. And then Paul Billings, played by Chinaza Uche, says, found out what? And she says, how much time we have left. And so we see Carla and Paul standing in supply, talking, and we see someone face unseen hurriedly opening some sort of metal briefcase. I have no idea what this is.
What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box?
Pulls something out, not a head, and affixes it to a metal wall or something, it seems. And we see a ticker starting to count
Yeah,
down, and it seems to be from about like 29 seconds. It's the ticker's going 1 second at a time.
yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think about this whole find out how much time we have left thing?
Who? Yeah. Who is the we? What I'm really interested in is who is the we in that sentence. Is it Silo 18? Is it the silos in general?
Mm.
Is it Carla? Is it certain? Is it like mechanical? Who is the we in that sentence?
And does that mean find out we have a lot of time left or find out we have a little time left?
And also, I'm sorry, this is just me, but whenever you see a ticking clock like that, ticking down, my lost trauma was like, don't mess me around with a clock that's ticking down. Don't.
All right, let's talk about
I've been there once before.
Let's talk about something warmer and fuzzier then. Do we think Carla and Martha are going to make it? So I'll say Carla's character is dead by this time in the book.
Oh.
But they killed Papa Nichols instead of a bunch of other people.
Well, on the basis that no couple survives this show, I would have to say no.
Okay.
Because every couple we've ever encountered on the show, at least one person in that couple has died.
Mm-hmm. Someday, I mean, so the event in which killed her has already passed in the show, which is why I feel comfortable saying like she could live till the end. This is completely different,
Okay.
But I'm going to wait and not tell you how she died until we see how it plays out in general. But my God, the book version is so sad. So you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked. Okay. So and yeah, and I like I said, there's like 5 characters who haven't died. So don't take this to mean
Yeah.
there's a a skull hanging over her head, because I think they're just going a different way.
Although we don't see. Do we see Walker at all in this trailer?
No, that's another one who
Yeah.
maybe, I mean, is that what they're hiding? Walker and Lucas. Who else is missing? And Bernard.
Bernard. I don't think we see Down Deep Deputy Hank.
Yeah, Danny from IT.
Diego. We don't see Diego
Obvious or Diego Devious.
Yeah.
Although I wouldn't expect him to be on Team Martha. Well, who knows?
Who knows at this point?
Okay, so next section, we hear Juliet say, I get splinters of memories. If the founders cared so much, why did they need to kill a silo? So yeah, it's at her learning about Silo 17, or relearning about it or
Yeah,
whatever, or does she
yeah,
remember, or or is it something else? Okay, what we see though is Juliet walking through the cafeteria at night, followed by someone with a low ponytail who is like a straight, relatively fine hair. I don't know. Is that Patrick Kennedy? Does he have he wears his hair in a low ponytail, right? Um,
I thought it was one of the
Deputies?
deputies.
Could be, could be. Um, we see Juliet, it seems to be the same scene, holding up her hands in a W pointed at the sky. So that is that's her remembering or trying to remember, I think, when she was in the cafeteria with Lucas and he pointed out the constellation of Cassiopeia to her.
Yeah,
Um that's not book knowledge, that's just me remembering what happened in season 1.
yeah,
And then we see a burning note that says don't take the pills. And we see a hand turn a dial and a giant yellow door unlocks with aisles of supplies behind it. So I think they're unlocking the big door to this to where they keep all the supplies.
yeah.
Um we see Juliet sitting in a chair in an apartment talking to we don't know who, but that's who she's saying about the splinters of memories to. And we see people in hazmat. This is interesting. We'll come back to this more later, but this is what the first we see of people in hazmat suits spraying a yellow gas on something stony under some sort of like fish netting or maybe a metal fish netting. Do you have any thoughts about that one?
No, I was really confused about that. I have no idea what's going on there.
Based on what we see later, I wonder if this is in the mines and if the metal is like the ore they're mining.
Okay, what? And this is like some sort of chemical reaction to make it
I'm not
usable.
sure what the yellow stuff is they're spraying.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we see, yeah, Juliet fondling that damn Pez dispenser. So the Pez dispenser will be back. Also in Avengers Endgame. No. Which is the past one, Avengers Doomsday. Um, and then we see Camille talking, it seems, to what we're now calling the overseer again, and she says the question she's asking will get us killed. And
And she seems really sort of stressed and upset when she's
yeah.
saying that.
Yeah, for sure. And we know, like, from Bernard, who had that job, that yeah, and we do think, we talk about the Simsnard scale, but actually of morality, but actually Bernard did what he thought was right.
Yeah.
Because he genuinely was worried about the silo.
And the thing is, not only what he thought was right, but what may in the end turn out to have been the right thing. We still sort of don't really have an answer to that yet.
I suppose it's even if it is so, the question then remains with everything that he and Sims did.
Do the ends justify the means?
Yeah. And will they
Yeah,
even get those ends?
yeah,
um yeah, and we also see during this part someone with long hair pulling on some sort of hatch in like an underdown deep looking area, and then that same woman and a man are nearby shining a flashlight in the direction of some of that or a similar hatch in the wall. I think, after pausing and staring at this, I think that those two people might be Solo with his beard shaved off, and Audrey, the eldest young woman from Silo 17.
yeah. And we do definitely see a shot of Solo without a beard.
Yeah. Yeah, but the next
Yeah,
shot immediately after this is looking in, it looks like the door to Solo's hatch with his bearded face peeking out, but obviously they're editing this together out of order, this trailer,
yeah.
for maximum messing with us. Um Okay, so this is all being shown while Camille's saying the question she's asking will get us killed. Who do you think she's worried about killing? Whom?
I think she's talking like generally about the people in Silo 18.
Getting killed by who or what or how or why?
Oh, yeah. See, I don't think the AI, the overseer, whatever it's called, I think that is like the middleman between the silos and some sort of other intel. We'll get onto this when we talk about what's going on in the present. But I think
Hmm.
the overseer is a middle into. It's an intermediary between the humans at the silo and something else.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we get Juliet saying, "There's something I have to do to protect everyone." And we see people in hoods and masks running up the silo, presumably 18 stairs, and unfurling a banner. And I paused, and the banner's at an odd angle, so but I could see there's trees painted on it, and there's some sort of red writing scrawled over that, but I can't see what the red writing is. Any thoughts about what the banner might be? Would they be I mean,
No.
it must be, like, have to do with, the whole "the green is a lie" thing?
Yeah.
Remember with the flashes of
Pro-
the outside? Do they not believe Juliet, or Juliet doesn't believe it anymore, or
probably. Yeah. Probably.
Hmm. We also see, so when Juliet's saying there's something you have to do to protect everyone, we see her lowered now, like in a conscious way, where she's holding onto the rope through the silo, and this seems to be that like elevator pulley system stand-in that we were introduced to last season.
Yeah, that's badass. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it looks like fun. And Patrick Kennedy looks over the railing, concerned, and then we get this is a flashback to last season. There's a quick glimpse of a close up of Juliet's gloved hand when she was walking outside, reaching through the illusion of a rock to place the sheriff's badge where she knew Holston's body was outside. So I guess
Yeah.
so either they're reusing that from last season, or we're going to revisit that whole thing in her memories. Um and now the countdown is down to 16 seconds and counting.
Yeah.
There's also a view of the city ruins in the distance that flickers from green to ruined. I guess that's Juliet walking through the edge of the illusion last season. That's my best guess. And then we get Camille saying to Juliet, "You have made your choice." And it sounds like it might be cut from another scene, based on like the sound editing. And then because then we hear her say, "You'll die, your friends as well." So I don't know that all those three things are said together the way the trailer makes it sound like. But
Yeah, I think they may be having some fun with us there.
yeah. Um, and with this is where we see. So I was saying about that yellow gas. Now we see what looks like miners running away from a billowing yellow gas as Knox and Juliet run toward them, covering their faces, and some of the miners collapse as they flee.
Hmm.
So I'm wondering if that's the same stuff they were spraying on the rocks, but then why would you be spraying on the rocks? I don't know.
Yeah, no, we need to know. We need to find out what's going on there because that doesn't make an awful lot. None
Hmm.
of that makes an awful lot of sense.
Yeah. And now we see the people in the hoods and masks who were storming up the stairs are now storming IT, swinging tools at the door, breaking them down and rushing into IT offices. Um, and then we see, and this must be something different because elsewhere, definitely this is in the down deep, we see the judicial goons have, I think it's Knox in a chokehold.
Yeah, I think it's not.
So where do we think this unrest is? Is this unrest later in the season, or is this unrest at the beginning and like it's quelled down by their brainwashing Juliet and her saying the party line, whatever?
I I don't know. I think it's more likely to be at the beginning, but I don't think we have enough information to be able to say really.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And then this is where we get that shot you mentioned of we see Solo with he's only got a long stubble, no beard, and he's looking sad and has bloodshot eyes, which I'm wondering
Yeah,
what's he been doing with the bloodshot eyes? Is that from crying, or has he been somewhere low oxygen, or
yeah. And where are the kids?
where are the kids? Well, I think we saw Audrey in that other shot,
Yeah,
like I said, I think. But yeah, they didn't show any of the others. Um, and then we see those miners again busting out of a gate, holding their breath. I think this is like the shot before the other one where they're running and collapsing. And there's that yellow gas coating them and chasing them. So whatever that is. Okay, so going back to what Camille said, you have made your choice. What choice do you think Juliet made? This must be the thing she said, there's something I have to do, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Any
Hmm.
thoughts about the gas and the miners? No?
No, I literally don't even have it. I don't have enough information to even come up with a tinfoil hat theory. That's how bereft of information we are.
Okay, okay. All right. Next up, Juliet says, "What are you afraid we'll find?" And the thing is, though, and this is really interesting, Juliet looks up as she speaks, and Camille is standing behind her. So she's not asking Camille, "What are you afraid we'll find?" She's asking something else. And I think, and again, not from the book, but I think looking at where she's standing, she might be talking to the door that Lucas found.
Yeah, that would make sense.
But Camille's now with her, also questioning the door.
Yeah.
But then we also see Camille standing
Well,
in
I
the
mean
serv.
that's the thing. Do you not need to be head of IT in order for that thing to speak to you?
I mean, maybe Juliet's the mayor, so maybe that's also
Yeah.
um or maybe she's causing enough trouble.
Yeah.
And then, but we also see cut in with this Camille standing in the server room with tears streaming down her cheeks, and there's red lights illuminating behind her. So red lights, the
Yeah.
room turning red seems bad.
It's the Mr. Simpson. Have you ever known a siren to be good?
um, and then we get Billings now speaking up. We hear him say, he's saying the whole thing that they say to people before they go outside to clean.
Yeah,
We
that little oath that
we
they
do
do.
not know why we are here. We do not know when it will be safe to go outside. We only know that today is not this day. And this may be a flashback from last season, or it could be him sending out someone else. But it seems, I don't know. Would they send someone else out to clean, or
I
would?
don't know. I don't know. There's an edge to Billings' voice
Mm-hmm.
that, like, because like Billings is the one character who seems to like genuinely believe in the pact, this social contract that makes the silo run. And like that was being tested to destruction at the end of by the end of season 2. I
Mm-hmm.
wonder whether he's saying that as a sort of in a sort of cynical way. Maybe I'm reading way too much into it,
Hmm.
but
No,
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe we do also see Julia putting on her outside suit. I'm wondering if that is from last season when she was going out, because I keep, like I said, I think maybe they will be revisiting this, but
yeah,
they keep showing, or maybe they're just showing clips of last season to keep us from asking too many questions about this season yet.
yeah,
um and then, yeah, we see people in outside suits exploring a barren underground landscape. I'm like, oh, where's that? And we see text on the screen: "The truth lies in the past." And now this is where we go back to
yeah.
the
And this is
past.
this is the bit that got me really excited.
So we see groups of people from the past walking down a walkway leading underground over green grass. And there's like a green grassy area beside that people are walking around. We see Helen, played by Jessica Henwick, is at the front of the group. They're all wearing badges, like press badges kind of things, like they have passes or whatever to be there. And they're walking into this pathway underground, smiling, as Helen holds the arm of someone beside her whose face is hidden by a baseball cap. And then the camera sweeps over the silo grounds from two angles, and we see everything is verdant green with people walking all over the pathways. And we get an overhead view of a plaque with the silo schematic, and we can see 17 and 18 are part of the top right cluster. So that's one of the clusters nearest the entrance to the grounds. Um, and we see more shots of the police escort driving at night, repeated from the last teaser, but now we also see a bit more of Helen and Daniel inside a car at night, sharing a look of concern. So, okay, where do you want to dig into? Well, there's some more stuff we'll come to in a moment, but out of that stuff, where do you want to dig in?
See, I think the people going into the silo, it looked to me like they were all wearing slightly different coloured clothes.
Mm.
Which I wonder whether there was like originally a uniform for each individual silo,
Hmm.
or like some way, because they were all wearing like combinations of like red, burgundies, and yellows. It was
Okay.
like, yeah.
They
and
seem.
also and
Mhm.
also and I've sort of wondered about this before, but why would there only be one cluster of silos, one cluster of 50 silos? Are there like there could be hundreds of these things, there could be thousands of these things like scattered all over the world, because if this is the end of the world, you'd want to save as many people as possible. And obviously, there are resource constraints, but you could build a lot more than 50 silos. Like, a lot more.
Um. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to speculate on that, obviously, but you please keep doing so.
Okay.
uh. Any more thoughts about this cluster of images we got?
No, it's the next cluster of images,
Okay.
the images that really got me in proper,
Okay.
like, tinfoil hat territory.
Okay, so we have someone who's ID'd in the subtitles as Pierce, who is Colin Hanks, which I'll say right away, Pierce is not the name that I thought Colin Hanks's character would have.
Okay.
It is not a name from the book. So it's either Colin Hanks is not playing who I think he is, or they've potentially changed another person's name, which I don't know. Abby and I are obviously going to discuss this, but I don't know. It's not like I understand why they changed Donald to Daniel, the politician.
Yeah, because that would be just a little on the
Yeah.
nose.
This one is less immediately clear to me, but okay.
Okay.
Either he's playing not who I thought, or they've changed that character's name. But so he says the end of the world cannot be stopped; it can only be survived. And he seems to be speaking to. It looks the way they've cut it. At least it looks like he's speaking to Daniel, who looks dejected, which makes sense. Any thoughts on that exchange first?
Well, let's do the whole thing, because I think the
Okay.
whole thing
Okay.
together is where my
Okay.
tinfoil hat comes in.
Okay, so then as we hear him saying this, we also see a train rushing by showing the reflection of a woman in a baseball cap who we see is a Jessica Finley Brown character. And then we see her jump out of a subway car as the doors close and she's looking on guard. Like maybe she was chased in the subway or something. And then we see Laura Innes's character strutting out of an airplane hangar that looks like she's walking away from a massive private jet. And then we see someone is piloting one of the military jets. There's a bunch of military jets,
Yeah.
and they're focusing on one pilot who looks out of the cockpit with a surprised and scared expression. So, okay, go ahead, dig in.
See, I've been going back and forth on a whole variety of things that it could be the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I have considered this possibility before, but I've always ranked it quite low down, the scale of what possibly could be the end of the world. But this really made me think this could be aliens.
Okay,
This,
so we're
this,
back to aliens.
yeah, this could be
Okay.
like an X-Files style scenario of like the government knows an alien invasion is coming.
Okay.
Because that's the whole you can't stop the end of the world, but you can only survive it kind of thing. So and maybe I've just been rewatching X Files. Maybe it's just because I've been rewatching X Files. But maybe the governments of the world have done some sort of deal where where humans go into the silos and the aliens get the surface, or alternatively, rather than try and fight the aliens, we just hide from them. And
So,
that
mhm,
and that's where I'm saying the overseer might be a sort of intermediary
I see.
between the aliens and humanity.
Okay. Okay. So, question about in the last teaser. So, I'm guessing that the things we saw with the jets that's connected with we saw a big ship being bombed at
Yeah,
night in the last teaser. Where how do you think that connects to that theory?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
But like I say, if you told me right now that that was right,
Uh-huh.
I'd believe you. If you
Uh-huh.
told me I was completely off base and a million miles away from the truth, I would also believe you. But it
Okay.
just this particular trailer made me think aliens.
Okay. I will say neither such thing, obviously.
Okay.
All right. And then this we have Sims. We hear him again say, "Juliet, whatever you're going to do it now." And while we hear this, we see Juliet walking into the server room with Camille. So again, they seem to be working together. And we see Juliet standing in front of the algorithm screen. So we see her talking to whatever is the voice in the basement, which I thought was also the algorithm. Um, but yeah, so we see. I wonder in what order those scenes happen. Does she talk to it first upstairs or downstairs? Or does it matter?
Um, I'm not sure it matters all that much, does it?
Hmm. Okay.
Okay.
And then yeah, just the last thing to say is during this whole trailer we see a song we hear a song threaded throughout the trailer in the background. It's
There's a
new
new
yeah,
world coming,
it's New
and
World
it's
Coming
just
sung by Cass Elliot. And the lyrics we hear as we hear them there, there's a new world coming and it's coming around the bend. This one's coming to an end. There's a new voice calling. There's a new world coming. This world is coming to an end, coming to an end, coming to an end. And that repeats glitched. And then finally there's a new world coming and it's just around the bend. What do you think about the use of that song?
it's really quite creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um.
They
eh,
do it in because it's an upbeat song, like
Yeah, it's one of those ones where they take it. Yeah,
yeah,
they take an upbeat song and they slow it right down and they have it
yeah, because it
glitch.
is. I went and listened to the Cass Elliot version, and it is literally that version. They just distorted it. Yeah,
Yeah.
new world coming because it's kind of hopeful in a way, but
Yeah.
also scary.
Yeah.
And we see during that, like the silo daylight simulators are shuttering open and then later they close very suddenly. And we see flashes of Juliet ascending the silo stairs this season and walking outside last season. I think this might be her having memories breaking through. We go back to the whole running backwards images from the pre-trailer, and then we see the crumbling silo letters again with white on black text following that new season streaming July 3rd, which of course it'll be first episode July 3rd and then weekly thereafter. Thoughts overall on the trailer?
I just really want to get on and watch the first episode now.
Well, yes. The good news for listeners at home is that we did get access to screeners. Yay. Thank you, John, for your help.
Thank you, John. Thank you, the nice people at Apple.
Yes, thank you to the nice people at Apple for hooking us up. So that means that means that this is going to be our last preseason episode because if any more trailers come out, we're not going to be able to evaluate them honestly because we're going to watch the first episode now so that we can start recording in advance. So the good news is that means that you will get our breakdowns the day that the episode releases on Apple on Fridays.
Yeah, but just to say, we are still only watching one episode at a
Right.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We will not watch ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we were just talking about this before recording. We still really want to hear from listeners and we'll do our feedback episodes like last season, where we'll do just like a couple during the season and a wrap up episode at the end with listeners' feedback to talk through all of that. So please do send it in to woolshiftdustpodcast@gmail.com. You'll find that link in the show notes. And you'll also find linked in the show notes the book club link, where the book club that is a subscriber feed just for this content for the Will Shift Dust podcast, and you can catch up there on my and Abby's full book spoiler conversations about all of the books and short stories in the Silo series, and also the extra episodes that we did per per episode last year, especially. And then also we did breakdowns of the first season before that. Not to mention all extra stuff like the holiday specials Luke and I and others have done with. Yeah, and there's getting into extra Doom prequel book coverage and Hugh Howey's other short stories. So lots going on there in the book club, but that is where all the book spoiler conversations take place. And there will be an episode following this one between Abby and I talking about the book spoilers from this. So I will not be watching the first episode until Abby and I record that one.
Cool.
Luke, what's going on? And it could be said.
Well, we actually recorded an episode earlier on today, so that's Sunday the 7th of June, so that should be out first thing Monday morning. We finally did our post-mortem on the Scottish, Welsh and English local elections, and there'll be a second episode this week because we're a bit behind schedule doing our preview of the World Cup and some other bits and pieces.
Cool. All right. And the Lorehounds podcast, I forgot to put I'll insert the sound clip here, but it's another, I'm calling it Too Hot, Too Lore. It's crazy times. You can, on the Lorehounds feed, you will find weekly the Vampire Lestat coverage, which starts this week actually, and then starting in a couple weeks, House of the Dragon weekly coverage. I will be sending.
Really looking forward to that.
Okay,
really,
cool.
Because it finally after like a very slow season 2, it finally felt like we finally felt like we was going to go somewhere now.
Yeah.
They took a while, but all the pieces are in place.
Well, you should record voicemails to send in for the House of the Dragon coverage.
Yeah, we'll do.
Yeah, so I'll do the first 2 episodes with Jean, and then David is the primary producer on this season, so it'll be him and Jean for most of the season. There's also lots of movie stuff going on. John and I recently did a Mandalorian and Grogu episode. David and I did a Backrooms episode, and we're going to do a Disclosure Day episode. Jean and I are doing a one-shot this week for Spider Noir, which became one of my favorite shows of the year. Luke, I think, do you like noir? Like films?
Yeah, it's on my very extensive list of things to watch.
Okay. I mean, I am a big fan of noir films, and I love that this is just like playing with the format. You know, it's an homage, but also really one of the best done noirs I've seen, but also funny. Like Nick Cage, who plays Spider Noir, I think he called it like 80% Humphrey Bogart, 20% Bugs Bunny. I'm like, yeah, that tracks. Yeah, that's right. That's what it is. And that's perfect. I've watched it in black and white. Now I'm going to rewatch it in color. So as I do the notes for our one shot. But yeah, there's that. And then there's also going to be a Widow's Bay wrap up. We already did the mid-season check-in. You can find that on the Lorehounds feed. But at the end of the season, there will be another wrap up. I would have loved to have covered that one weekly because that's another one at the top of my list. It's just hot lore summer.
Too hot, too lore.
Too hot, too lore.
Too hot, too low.
Yeah. And of course, check out the other affiliates on the network. I think Rings and Rituals will be starting back up again soon with a season 2 rewatch, Rings of Power rewatch series with Marilyn and Dr. Sarah Brown, who are diving deep into the rituals and lore and world building of Rings of Power season 2. You can already, of course, catch up on their season 1 coverage in the meanwhile. Radioactive Ramblings. I believe there's going to be a boys wrap up coming soon. Never Mind the Music, where music meets psychology. Definitely recommend. They are putting out new songs and side episodes every week, a new episode. So check that out. Properly Howard, they just finished a movie season. They also did a Widow's Bay check-in and a conversation about the Batman casting. So check that out. And the Star Wars Canon Timeline podcast, I've been busy with subscriber episodes. If you become a Stories In, you get access to both these Will Shift Dust episodes and the Star Wars episodes, but I've been doing extras there, and I promise I'm very soon picking back up in the public feed. I'm really eager to do that, actually. Very excited about it. Do you have any final thoughts, Luke?
No, except I really want to get on and watch the first episode. Actually, I've been going back and watching watching season 2 because what I put in our WhatsApp to you, it feels like a very long time since season 2 was on. So before I jump into the first episode of season 3, I am sort of doing a quick rewatch of season 2.
I'm also
just to get acclimated.
I'm doing a full series rewatch because I did not have enough to watch, but I just figure.
Yeah, well, this is if you're gonna do Hot Law Summer, you got to do it properly.
Yeah, in for a penny, in for a pound.
Exactly.
But we will see you. You will hear from us. We will be busy prepping in the background in the meanwhile. But the next time you hear from us will be on July 3rd when the first episode drops. Watch out for a breakdown wherever you listen podcasts. And it's new world that's coming just around the bend.
And is it aliens?
I really want to say something, but I won't.